of the 50-day Go Live Challenge. Let us know where you're watching from. But it's still crooked. Trying to make it not crooked.
Hello, I'm Hannah.
This is Hannah Banana, guys. All right. Okay, so I can see your comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And today we are talking about riding donkeys, mules, and horses all together. We just did a ride yesterday. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cold. It just snowed.
It was only 10 degrees out. We still did it.
Yep, 10 degrees out. Then the wild donkey did her first trail ride in the snow.
Yes, it was only her third trail ride ever. So if you guys are curious about if a donkey can keep up with horses and mules on the trail, we're going to break it down with a mixed herd ride from yesterday. 2 donkeys, 2 mules, and 1 horse. Snowy trails and lots of switching animals. But plenty of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So donkey speed versus horse speed. Now, I don't think I met a horse that's slower than a donkey.
I don't think I've met many things that can be slower than a donkey.
Now, when we used to ride on flat ground, like from the house when we lived over at Jambar, that Seamus would be faster than Stormy when we left the house.
Yeah, they can keep up sometimes.
Yeah.
If they're really motivated or if they think it's really fun. You know, you could be on a trail ride, the donkey that is really slow to lead around the yard, and they're just excited and happy to be out on the trail and they're out just cruising, or maybe they're just a little slower. But typically they're slower, but...
So you riding a horse or a mule and then having me there with the donkey, are you feeling like, oh my gosh, Mom, that donkey is so slow?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, and it just kind of depends on what you're doing. You know, like if you were out and you were going to pack in somewhere and you had to get there at a certain time to get camp set up, you know, you'd want to plan around if you had donkeys coming with, you know, anticipating that it might be slower. So I think just having the right mindset when you're going into it and not just expecting them to be super fast, because maybe they'll keep up just fine, but more than likely they're going to be a little bit slower. So you either have to stop and wait now and then, or maybe circle back, just do a lap around them if you're out trying to get your animal exercise. So
where you can work on different tasks that you're working on getting your animal handy with.
yeah, have them stomp back up or stop and rope a bush or something, and yeah.
Now I do think, and we don't, Dan and I haven't been riding a ton lately, but I do think that if you are working on conditioning your donkey and your donkey also finds what you're doing fun, that your donkey is going to keep up better. Like Seamus yesterday was pretty slow, and Seamus will take advantage of anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. And we had some green people with us. Make sure you guys let us know where you're watching from. I see some people hopping on. There we go. Yeah, so let us know where you're watching from. Now, so condition your donkeys. That's a huge part of helping them keep up as well as they can. I think that Honk the Donk, being a mammoth donkey, is going to step out better than like Seamus.
Yeah, if they have longer legs, it can take longer steps. So.
Yeah, and then, you know, if you're riding a large standard, I wouldn't expect as much out of them as I would a mammoth donkey or a bigger one. Why donkeys or why mules move differently than both the other two? This question I had a little bit more of a hard time coming up with a good answer for, but mule, their shoulder blades go up and down, where a horse goes forward like this. I don't think that's true for Stormy because he's gaited. So
yeah, so gaited animal maybe moves similarly to a mule.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we're not experts on this. So.
No, but these are questions that come up that people ask. So
yeah. But just comparing a mule to the other two.
Yeah, to the horse.
So they're gonna step out as good as a horse can. Probably the biggest difference would be, depending on the terrain that you're on, they're gonna be more particular on where they're putting their feet. You know, less likely to trip or slide. There's a few trail rides that we did this summer in Utah and then up by Glacier, and kind of mixed mules and horses. You know, they keep up just fine with each other. But the animals that were slipping at a creek crossing or getting stuck trying to get over a big log, it was kind of interesting to notice that it was the horses that were like, oh, okay, how do I get around this, you know? Or they just slip, and you're not really seeing mules slip or get stuck with stuff like that.
You know, that makes me think of Stormy when Stormy's 25 now. But when Stormy was young, oh my gosh, he tripped on everything. And I rode him bareback everywhere because I could never find a saddle to fit him, and you know, I didn't have a lot of money. That's 25 years ago, right? So, but when we were going back in the woods and stuff like that, Stormy used to trip all the time. Stormy's sure-footed now, but it takes a lot of time for these horses, mules, and donkeys, all three of them, for them to learn how to do this stuff. We can't just bring them out there and say, okay, well, you have 4 legs, you should do it.
Yeah. Even now, though, I bet if you took Stormy and like my mule out, Stormy, you'd probably notice him maybe trip now and then, and I bet Bruce, you wouldn't.
That sounds like a fun thing to find out, guys. And Stormy's not been conditioned. Hannah's been riding Bruce a lot more than I've been riding Stormy. So get them out there and ride. Realistic expectations on mixed species ride. I think taking time to making sure your group knows. Like if you go into a group that doesn't know you have donkeys and they're all on fast horses or mules.
Yeah, and everyone shows up and they're expecting to, you know, they already have an image of what they want their ride to look like. And it could look differently if you have some donkeys taken along. So just giving people a heads up if you're wanting your donkeys to be included, and just kind of setting everyone up for success and to have a good day together.
To go into that with realistic expectations. I hear that even with like Foxtrotter. So Foxtrotter, that's what Stormy is, and he steps out a lot. I hear people that they don't want to ride with this animal or that animal because that animal is too slow or that one's too fast. So it can happen with any species, just different breeds of different species. So make sure you're not surprising anybody.
Yeah.
That way you can all have fun. Tips for riding with slower animals without frustration. So realistic expectations before you go on the ride, but also there's times where Hannah and I are going to go on a ride and Hannah's working on getting Bruce to be able to be comfortable leaving.
To not be buddy sour.
Yeah, so you kind of have a focus. So I'm going slower because like this day that I'm thinking about, I was trying to get to be ponied from a horse. Donkeys are naturally afraid of horses in my experience. So we were just doing circles and Hannah just worked on leaving and coming back. So sometimes you can set up your rides where you're working on a task that you want to get better at. And then everybody's having fun. You're all on your animals. It's just awesome then, right?
Yeah.
What green donkeys need on their first trail rides? Oh boy. You know, be ready for them to be slow. Like if you're leaving and they're nervous and they're hesitant and you're just trying to kick the snot out of them to get them to go, you're going to make that ride not very much fun for them. Going back, Odd did a really good job of really picking up the speed coming back.
Because they knew they were going home, so then they were stepping out.
Now that's a good time to ask for the trot and other gaits. What do you think, Hannah? You've done this a lot with green animals and you and I together.
I think just not having super high expectations, you know, don't set the bar so high that they're gonna fail. You know, have little milepost goals that you'll be able to attain on that ride, so you're both happy, you know, they feel accomplished and you're not frustrated with them.
Now, if you go out there thinking you're gonna do everything like you do with your old trusty, you're probably gonna come back sorely disappointed with a green animal.
Yeah.
Any green animal, though.
Yeah, because I'm sure your attitude while you're riding, you know, they know what that is. So if you're out there and like, man, you can't even do this. Like, you can't even trot. I thought this is our first trail ride. We're supposed to be able to do all this. You know, maybe you're not really taking that on them, but they're gonna be able to tell that you're like, okay, well, what's the point of this? They're gonna know. You know,
I feel miserable when I'm with you.
Yeah. So not just, you know, not taking it out on them, but you know, making sure that you feel good too. About the ride, because they're gonna tell. They'll be able to know.
I think that's so important. It when they're having fun and you're having fun, then you look forward to the next ride. Staying motivated to ride in cold weather. So we've just started to do this part of the series, and guys, I put a link in the description. We talked about hand warmers and these scarves. Hannah's wearing one. I have your hat here.
Oh.
Stormy Crommers. I put a link in the description for the Stormy Crommer hats. So here's Hannah's.
This one is not a Stormy Crommer, but my fiance made it. It's beaver fur.
You know what? Does he make those to sell them too?
I don't know.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So these, you could get one of these really warm.
Now there's a link to Reed's website in the description as well. So you're gonna have to hook them up. It's perfect time right now, right before Christmas. And then I have some Stormy Crommer hats that have a hole in the back for my ponytail and others that Like this one here, it really folds down to be super duper warm. So there's so many different ways just to help ourselves stay warm. Oh yeah, Hannah. It's so soft too. So check out Reeb's website. Check out the links to the Stormy Cromer hats. They're awesome. Now, if you guys are looking for extra help with your donkeys, we're here to help you guys. Training Well Burros, it's not just about gentling. We're also using them to ride, go packing, moving cattle. What other stuff do we use our donkeys for?
Going to fun events, you know, mule and donkey oriented events. If you're in Montana, I think most states have a mule days, but it's not just for mules, it's for donkeys too. And there's lots of people there who go to them with their donkeys. At least the Montana one is very family friendly. You know, you don't have to show up and be able to do all sorts of cool tricks on your donkey. You can just show up and be able to ride them a little bit, and you have a lot of fun. You know, it's a really good community to be a part of. Everyone's really encouraging, really supportive. So if you're in Montana and you have a donkey, or depending on what state you're in, they probably have a similar event where you can go and just...
most every state, Mule Days is.
You think each state, the intensity varies. I know Montana's is very relaxed, just for fun. In some states, you know, it's kind of like a little bit more
serious.
Yeah. Like, okay, don't be so serious.
And even here, there are like serious riders, and then there's this. Hannah and I wore a bra on the outside of her clothes with water balloons in them, and
well, it's for the Dolly Parton race.
Yeah,
you gotta have the context with that.
Oh, you guys want context?
Yeah, give them context.
And then there's another race at the Mule Days that was to start a fire and cook a pancake.
The flapjack race. They gave you fire building supplies. You have to go make a fire, everyone at the same time, cook a pancake, and then run back without losing your animal.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but stuff like that's good stuff to go do, to meet people. You know, meet people to help encourage you to keep at it.
Yeah. So with the Training Wild Burros, there's the memberships where you can have just supporting the herd, extra videos, as well as coaching, because I am doing all of this stuff with my donkeys. Now, I don't think I have any more. I haven't seen any questions come up, but make sure you're putting questions in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. And